know, they think that I just come in there and look for knockoffs, and that's not the case. You know, I'm actually a sharp, smart fighter.
So, well, wait, I'm here. Who wants to fight me?
I really don't care who's in front of me. I don't feel like no fighter beat me.
My goal is to demolish everybody, to be honest. Everybody that's in my way. The pinnacle to any weight division is to have all of the belts, all of the titles.
Welcome to Bodywork. Welcome back. It's Michael Rogers. Welcome to Bodywork Boxing. It feels so good to be back. How y'all doing out there, man? I hope everybody is having a wonderful evening. Thought I'd talk a little boxing this evening. You know, there's a lot going on in boxing, man, and I kind of want to take some time to actually look out. You know, it's a lot of current events, it's a lot of things bubbling, it's a lot of things that gotta get across the finish line. A lot of major fights, a lot of major implications. There's a lot of hoopla surrounding some of the recent cards and current events and all kinds of things, you know. But first, what I'm going to do is welcome everybody here, man. I appreciate everybody who come in the building, man. I don't take it for granted, you know, if you come in and listen and participate and chat and like and add to the conversation, because I know that everybody's time is valuable. So I appreciate you for your time, your effort, your energy. I ask that you hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. If it's your first time, you know, just sit back, kick back, listen, you know what I'm saying? Don't make no knee-jerk reaction. You don't even have to subscribe right now, as long as you eventually subscribe. If you don't like what we doing over here, you no harm, no foul. You know, but I would love your subscription, man, over here where every subscriber matters. I want to start with doing some housekeeping first, right? Before we get into the meat and potatoes, like always, got to do some housekeeping. I'm gonna start off because it's a major card coming up. You know, it's one of Turkey's better cards, in my opinion. This is the one I say I give them full credit for, this lit card with all of these names. I think it's something going on with the only fight I think there's something really going on with is the David Morrell. Something happened with his opponent, so you know, I'm not sure if they're fishing for another one or what's gonna happen with that. But it has Shakur Zapata, it has Edgar Berlanga and Hamza Shiraz, and it has Sabril El Orgulo de Martinillo, Sub-Zero Matias taking on Alberto the Wasp Puello. Man, that's that might be the fight of the card, believe it or not, because of the implications and the level of competition as far as them being champions, former champions, two-time champions. Sabril looking to get back in it, but it's a whole lot going on right now, and you know, Shakur's making his waves in the media, and it's this reoccurring theme that I'm hearing echoed all across YouTube and people that choose to talk about this fight. I'm not going to stay here long. I'm just going to go over some things and how I understand it. But they keep saying that Shakur is being set up. And I'm like, he's being set up. I'm like, well, William Zapata is Oscar's guy. That's who he's going to hang his mantle on, and that's one of his stars, just like Virgil Ortiz. We know what Oscar do, right? So I'm like, is it set up by the match because Shakur wanted this fight, right? And then I'm thinking, okay, with all of the, when they said the Tom and Jerry stuff, even though I don't really think that applied to Shakur. I don't think that really applied to Shakur. I think you can look back at the performance with De Los Santos, and you know, that's one sample size, right? But that's not typical Shakur. Like, but in the aspect of Shakur that people were critical of was him actually performing, him actually taking more risks, him like, you know, doing something to please the fans, not in the vein of the Tom and Jerry. So I don't really think that missile was for him, because it came on the heels of Devin Haney and Jose Ramirez, and the heels of William Skull and Canelo Alvarez. That's where the Tom and Jerry. So I'm like, with the ring size, I mean, it can't be. Why? Because Shakur came on and said ring size don't matter. So that was a head scratcher. I'm sitting there thinking, okay, so how is he being set up? So I said, you know, juice your noodle, Mike. You know, use some critical thinking skills. What do they mean by him being set up? Or what could everybody be meaning? And I'm hearing that the card's been switched to where somehow, some way, the reports are, or people, you know, big channels are reporting that the card got switched around to where Shakur and William Zepeda is headlining, and Hamza and Berlanga is now going to be on the undercard. And we can dive off into that, and you know how weird that is, you know, having it changed and all that. But I guess, you know, allegedly they put up a fight, and now Shakur is headlining. So I'm still like, what is he being set up for? It's like, because it couldn't be the style, because he wanted this fight. He wanted Zepeda. He is pretty much giving Zepeda the respect of being a good dance partner, but he's basically still saying that he's gonna go in there and step on Zepeda, which I'm wholeheartedly for. I want him to go in there and beat shit down William Zepeda's leg if he can. I want to see the old Shakur. That's been my appeal. But I'm still sitting here like, well, how did he get set up? Well, this is what I'm thinking. He's getting set up because the rumors are that the fight isn't selling. Now, I don't want to get into the messiness, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to get into, the numbers and why you worried about ticket sales. It's like, no, I'm not worried about ticket sales. You know, and I think that these guys, whenever you go in cahoots with Turkey and you accept that Turkey bag, and you go over there and play in that sandbox, I believe that the fighter should only be focused on preparation and performance. Why? Because Turkey's giving the bag. You should alleviate yourself of all the other things, because he's dictating the time. He's dictating the attendees. He's dictating the pace. He's dictating, and there are numerous accounts, so don't blame Bodywork. There are numerous accounts about how Turkey wants his hands over everything. He wants to be able to pick out everything, the turnbuckle colors, the, you know, how, you know, slim the ring card boys are. He wants to pick out everything. So I'm like, okay, if you accept a Turkey bag, you can't be worried about whether that's Turkey's guy or not. Why? Even though you have, you should know that your performance, and if you allow it to be too close, you got to worry about that because of what happened with Hamza Shiraz and Carlos Adames. So as far as fighting one of the Turkey guys, or the whole, you Turkey's guy, like Berlanga and Shiraz, like, we know you Turkey's guys, like, okay, in that aspect, yeah, but that's still in your focus should be your preparation and your performance. You shouldn't be worried about that. Like, when you accept that bag, you should not be worried about fighting one of Turkey's guys. You shouldn't be worried about where the event's taking place. You shouldn't be worried about how many ring card boys are going to be out there, what color the turnbuckle is. Are they going to be having, you know, crumpets and tea after? None of that stuff. You can't, you have no say. Only thing you say is when you negotiate, you get the bag and you go fight over there. So the only thing I could come up with, like, to legitimize this setting up, because in no way do I think Shakur Stevenson being set up. It's one state over. You know, his fan base should be able to travel, and especially since he's, you know, if he is, you know what I'm saying? We got to get concrete evidence. If he is headlining, the only way that I think he could be headlining is if the history of Turkey's recent events and the amount that they don't sell, or it, you know, falls flat, or it flops or whatever. I think that the card itself and the undercard has enough staying power even if it's something going on with David Morrell and his opponent, even if he has to change out, it's still enough staying power between Hamza Shiraz and Berlanga, the action of that. Shakur and Zepeda, the action of that. And then Sabril Matias and Alberto Puello, with Alberto Puello defending his strap after having beaten Gary Antoine Russell and, edging out Sandor Martin, with Sabril Matias coming back, making his way, climbing back up out of the mud, picking himself up by his bootstrap. It's enough staying power on the card for the card still to be lit. And I'm trying to debunk this whole being set up. The only way I think he can be set up is if the ticket sales aren't good and they continue to report it and media get nasty and messy and they say, you know what, it didn't sell, it flopped, and they try to put it on Shakur. Now, I would say that it's the gift that keep on giving, because he complained enough, or he got with management and he petitioned to be the headline. If that's the case, if he did, then he bought that bag of goods. And I'm like, listen, you should be alleviated of that, Shakur. Once any fighter should be aware, if you take that turkey bag, preparation and performance are the only things you should be concerned about. Do not volunteer to be the headline. Don't volunteer, because he's going to put you where he wants you. You see, T.O. was the first one out. He should have been the last, because he had the belt. He defended the most. Like, he had the most prestige. 2-time lineal, all of that at the time. He should have been. But Turkey does things the Turkey way. So I just wanted to speak to that. If somebody in the comment section could let me know how he was being set up. I'm not sure how he's being set up. He came on and said the ring size don't matter, and he wants Zepeda. What else could it be? I'm not sure. But the only way he's getting set up is if he's being made the headline and they're pulling a switcheroo to try to make Shakur Stevenson fall for if the tickets flop. That's the only thing that I can see. But if you're a fighter out there, you're going to go get that turkey bag, man. Alleviate yourself of everything but your preparation and your performance. If you fully prepared and your performance is up there, you shouldn't worry about the judges and whatever. You should make it so emphatic, so undeniable. Stop your guy in the contest, whatever it is. Those are the only thing in the amount that you negotiate when you sign that contract. So your bread, preparation, and performance. Moving right along, man. Before I get into the meat and potatoes, Devin Haney. Devin Haney is one of them guys I've been seeing here lately as one of them guys who like to take one step forward and then 2 steps back. What do you mean, Mike? If you listen, I'm going to tell you, right? There are a pattern. It's been a pattern with Devin that's going on where I'll just go back to when he left 135, right? When he left 135, he took a gigantic leap forward. He fought one of my guys in Regis Prograis. Huge step forward. Spanked Regis like no other. Right? Then after that, instead of unifying or going to continue to be legacy, he went and played in the sandbox with Ryan. That was a step back. He got smacked by Ryan. That was the first step back. And then he sued. That was the second step back. I was like, yeah, Ali. So then he takes some time off. Right, get himself together or whatever, get over whatever, if he had PTSD or whatever. Then he chooses Jose Ramirez, and then that's when he's one half of the reason why we got the whole Tom and Jerry scenario, right? But we give him a mulligan, right? If everybody else want to give him a mulligan, man, I'm not gonna be the one out here looking and sounding like a hater saying blah blah blah. It's like, if y'all like it, I love it. Okay, so we gave him a mulligan for Jose Ramirez, so we're not going to count that as a step back. So then, huge step forward by booking a fight with Brian, the Assassin, Norman Jr. Huge, like coming off the performance that he had, going to go scout him out, being in Japan, watching the fight. I'm like, man, there's no way this dude going to sign up for it. Or they ain't got no choice, and Bill is up to his things, and he just gonna put his son out there. He just gonna write that check that Devin's ass is gonna have to cash. And we gonna see real fast when they yell ding, ding, ding. if he is who he is. And then, well, Mike, what is the 2 steps back? Well, there's been allegations, and I was so surprised with all of the people who always first and foremost out here when it comes down to like the little dude from Baltimore, that everybody just anything, man. The man sit on the toilet for too long and his legs fall asleep. Oh man, look at him, man. Look at him sitting on the toilet like that, man. See, he can't be pound for pound. He sit on the toilet too. Anything the man do, they say. I remember the last thing when they had no proof, one of the biggest channels online came out the next morning. I'm like, hold on, if it happened in the evening, there is no news. There's nothing to be found. They had a live prepared in the morning. And I was like, dang, I got to see this live because what information do they have? They didn't have none. They didn't have none. But here we got allegations of begging and paying for Young Thug's ex to have a baby, restraining orders and getting physical threats in the streets. Oh my. I'd rather take the Lions, Tigers, and Bears. But there's been no news. It's been no news, you know what I'm saying? And the funniest thing I could come up with is, man, Dev need to stop listening to 50 Cent, man. He, you know, thinking that he gangster, and then that whole have a baby by me, baby, be a millionaire. It's like, that was like the stupidest, craziest, wildest stuff I've ever heard. And I don't even like getting into the messy stuff. I'm just wondering. Just like the piece I did the other day when I was talking about how, you know, when Breadman fighter get his ass pieced up, everybody was jumping on Breadman. When Derrick James have a fighter that lose, everybody be jumping on Derrick James. And I said, well, what's up with this B&B stuff? Nobody said nothing. I was waiting for somebody to report on something. Nothing. I was waiting on somebody to report on something about this Devin Haney stuff. Nothing. But they be so quick and so loud and so boisterous and so proud when a little guy from Baltimore do anything. It's front page news, it's 3 weeks, it's 8-hour lives, it's super chats, it's all of that, but everybody want to say, oh, that's allegations, that's hearsay, we don't have enough information. It's like, okay, well, keep that same energy when it comes to everybody. Everybody. That's what I be trying to say when it comes down to this whole, this is what I be speaking about as I do this house cleaning. This is what I be speaking about. This is the prime example of what I be speaking about, where you want to be on code for the guy on the left, but it's fuck the dude on the right or Z time, no matter what. Like when the Brian Norman, when they thought the Brian Norman negotiations and all that, it fell out with Devin Haney, it was people making posts talking about Tank fans. I'm like, hold on, man. You mean to tell me that a fight between Brian Norman and Devin Haney is getting ready to take place right away, right at a time when boxing needs this, and you still talking about Tank fans? I've already told y'all that is like the default retort, or if you don't have shit really to say, you're not really a creative, you don't have nothing really going on, just say something about Tank. I'm trying to tell y'all. So if we gonna be on code for Devin and we gonna keep this on the hush, and y'all ain't gonna be as messy as y'all are when it come down to shitting on Tank, then y'all need to start shutting the fuck up when it come to all these other guys and they little mishaps. Cause y'all are very, very hypocritical out here on YouTube, bro. I'm trying to tell you, man. Y'all, it's a lot of hypocrites. I'm done with it. That's my house cleaning, man. But this is what I mean when I be saying this quote unquote on code shit. This is what I be meaning. And that's the house cleaning right there, man. Come on, man. We got to keep the same energy for them all. We got to put them all on the scale. We got to judge all of their moves. Down to the meat and potatoes, man. The future of 68. I've been thinking about this because, it's a mega fight. They trying to say it's the fight of the century and all that. I don't look at it like that. I look at it like two people that need to go ahead and fight and get it on so they can retire and get the fuck out the way. Excuse my French. I'm so tired of both of them. You know what I'm saying? They shenanigans and the hypocrisy of how they been moving. Canelo with his, I told y'all he has a grape vineyard. This dude has a grape vineyard. It's no way when the little dude from Baltimore pull up a Hector Garcia one weight class up, who's actually still physically bigger than him, slander. When he put up Lamont Roach, one weight class, who actually fought above that, but is actually talking about going to 140 next, slander. This man has a repeatable diet of allowing people to move up 2 weight classes down, the greenest ones of the bunch, the people in Edgar Berlanga who ain't never had a title. You get a Hami Munguia who didn't really prove he was shit, carried him, didn't even knock him out. Then you get a John Ryder. Then we excuse the whole European bum bashing tour. We excuse that. So now he get to get a Bud who ain't fought up there, who just get this glide by with a Madrimov, and now it's supposed to be the biggest fight of the century. You can't gaslight me. I'm already lit. But it will have big implications. What I'm trying to do is look forward past all that bullshit and look at the future of 68 and who might have the best case or the brightest future. And that's where we stand right now. That's where we stand right now, man. I'm looking at Diego Pacheco. That's probably my guy. That's probably the guy that I would actually say. Now, I'm not counting. It's the reason why I didn't count Jamal Charlo. One, because he's not one of the young guns, but I do think that he's not over with. And any one of these guys, eventually, somehow, some way, if it ain't just about the money and all that, or Canelo ride off in the sunset, one of these guys are gonna have to see Jamal Charlo because he's still relevant. He's still undefeated. He gonna be that old dog that one of these young dogs is gonna have to get in the ring with and prove themselves against. But I didn't put him here because I'm focused on the next generation. I'm focused on those guys coming up that nobody really talk about, that everybody's like being distracted by what's going on right now in the turkey circus. You know, once y'all book y'all flights and y'all know exactly where it is and when it is and you know what time it come on and whether or not y'all gonna have, you know, crumpets and tea or y'all just gonna do scrapple with a little bit of egg. Like once y'all figure all that shit out, maybe we can get into that. But once that's clear, when the smoke clear from all of that, I'm focused on these guys. Edgar Berlanga, Hamza Shiraz, Christian and Billy, Diego Pacheco, Aziz Iglesias. You can even throw in because I think David Morrell will come. I think he was still. I mean, I'm not sure if David Morrell will go back down, but I would have to reason if he get lit, he would probably do it. And you definitely can't rule out David Benavidez. But because David Benavidez got his own thing, he's trying to do his own thing. But I know that if it goes past, you know, this turkey circus, and we start looking at this new crop, and a star emerges out of that bunch, I have no doubt that David Benavidez will step his foot back at 68 and do his thing and get it on because he wants the big fight. Can't rule out a McCumbee because he got a fight coming up with Pacheco, and it's a couple other names, but those are the ones that actually stick out. Can't really count out that dude Resendiz either. I got a term. Just give me if it's no knockouts, if it's no knockdowns, a good solid just beat down. He coined a term in Bodywork called a Resendiz. So if I'm looking for a Resendiz, that's just a good solid tactical Bodywork beat down like he did with Caleb Plant. Salute, AC.
Salute, Brody. Yo,
What's going on, man? I did the house cleaning. I did the toss up. You know what I'm saying? The alley hoop, so we can go ahead and get down to business.
Yeah, man. Like just to answer L Dub, I'm a person who still talks about Iglesias whenever I try to mention whenever I mention 168-pound division, because when you talk to Latino fans that follow boxing and follow that division, they say Iglesias is the guy to inherit that division, and everybody's ducking him. You feel what I'm saying? They want to see Iglesias and Diego, and a lot of them feel Diego can't touch him. The big fight for me would probably be if Hamza get past Berlanga, let Hamza and Iglesias go at it. Or if Morrell come back down to 68, let Morrell and Iglesias get down with it. I know all of those fights are intriguing to you because it sounds like you're an Iglesias fan, like myself. So for me, when I think about 68, 68 right now is like 47 is coming into his own and getting ready to get locked in, but 54, 35, 40, these 68 is now looking like those divisions. Like you're not gonna know what the fuck gonna happen because it's a lot of movement up there. You feel what I'm saying? It's a lot of movement that's happening in 68 to whereas because of the bigger names that are lower down, and Canelo is the biggest name, and now you got that Canelo Bud fight. You feel what I'm saying? A lot of people are still overlooking 68. They're overlooking at the momentum of a Christian Mbili. Me personally, Mbili, I like you. There's a lot I like about you, but um, I think you still need to hone some of your technique. Your last fight, you did look pretty good. I like them uppercuts. I like how you was throwing them shits. But I'm still not quite there sold on you like I am a Pacheco, a Hamza, Iglesias, and I just was looking at this dude's name. I hate when I do. I hate when I do this. Like I'm still looking at what Maul is going to do up there. He's a guy that I'm looking at. The old veteran, because when you kind of look at it, he's not old, but he is the veteran of that division along with Canelo. So I want to see what he does. And at the end of the day, there are some younger guys that may be talking about coming up to 68. I know there's a couple of young 100-pound 68 dudes I've seen on like smaller cards and shit like that. I'm like, whoa, wow, this little dude. By the time he get them maybe 10, 15 fights in, hopefully people will be talking about him. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
that's where I land my plane right there, bro. It's just an exciting division right now.
All right, we're gonna get into it. We're gonna start breaking some stuff down. Let me just do my shout outs because I don't be looking at the comments. His twin, salute Bodywork. Salute his twin, Cookie Monster. Bodywork. AC, he's in the building. Cokie. Salute those. Bodywork. I got you too, Cokie. I'm gonna respond to you, man. Appreciate you for hitting me. Cookie Monster say mic check. 1212 sounding awesome. 100 lit. I like Shakur was chasing this fight, his Mando. Yeah, yep. Everybody getting equated. Everybody, okay. They announced in the build-up that it would be Hamza and Berlanga promoted as the main fight night. Shakur versus Zepeda is the main event. Right. So he said set up rotary phones. I can't call it. Coach Eddie. Salute, Coach Eddie, man. Long time no see, man. Salute. L-Dub, boxing plug. Salute, L-Dub. Appreciate you, man. Iglesias is the dark horse at 168. He should be back in the ring on September 4th against Vladimir Shishkin. Yeah, I think that's good, man. See, Iglesias, I didn't want to put him there. I didn't put his picture up there, but I've been peeping him out. You know what I'm saying? I've been peeping him out, and I think that what happened with David Morrell. And how people say, oh, man, who is it? You know how they play that game when you look real vicious and dangerous, and they want to play musical chairs around you. But he's looking like he's like that. You know what I'm saying? So I had to put his name down here in the banner. But, yeah, I think you might be on to something, L-Dub. What happened to Iglesias? Why did you leave him out? He is 27. Nobody is talking about it. If you look, he in the banner. I put him down here in the banner. Read the banner, L-Dub. I put him down there. Callum Simpson, Lester Martinez, Beck the Bully, 168. Yeah, we gonna get into that. Because Beck the Bully, I think he had lost a little steam after the Gabe Rosado thing, and he don't fight the way he was, but he's building his way back up because he just took out what's my man name? Fulgham. He just took out Darius Fulgham. You say all good fights for Iglesias. Yeah, 126 is solid too. Yeah. I'm gonna dip back down there in a little while. I'm gonna get back on that. Kevin Saggio. Was that the name you were looking for, AC? He said there's a good 168 this weekend. Pavel Suryagin and Pablo Corzo. Definitely gonna have to check it out because this weekend it seemed kind of dry. Darius Fulgham can bounce back from that Beck loss. Yeah. Steve Nelson put up a good performance versus Pacheco. Yeah, he put up a valiant effort. And that's what I'm saying. So even though the top dogs might not fight each other, or it might take a while for them all to mix it up, the backdrop, like Fulgham going around and having to mix it up with a So Cold, or people are high on Lester Martinez. I think they're gonna have him next in the shoot. But let's just start with a guy. Let's start with a guy that I wasn't always high on. I'm still not that high on him. It's just my old head. He love him. They call him the French Mike Tyson. they call him Billy, huh?
No, I was just saying you call him and Billy. We gonna start.
Yeah, I call him and Billy. They call him the French Mike Tyson. You know what I'm saying? But my old head, and so he was also excited about Keyshawn. Like, so I guess if I could draw a conclusion, he liked them. He like action, you know what I'm saying? He bought that action, you know, and he been watching boxing for a long time. But he called me one day, said, "Man, Mike," he said, "Man, you ever heard of this? What's his name? This Christian M. Billy?" He said, "Man, he's exciting, man." He was like, they call him the French Mike Tyson. He was like, "Man, go look up this." I said, I seen him, Billy. I said, I seen him fight a couple times, right? So for me, looking at M. Billy, man, I think that he's one of them guys to where he can impose his will on you. But I do think that skilled boxers will give him trouble. Like if you are sound, because that fight with what's his name? The technician. What's his name? Not Korobov. What's his name, man? The technician. Fight up under Andre Rozier. Why am I drawing blank? I'll find it. What's his name? Derevyanchenko.
Oh,
see, Derevyanchenko had a bad wing. You know what I'm saying? One of his wings was something was going on with one of his wings in that fight, and I thought M. Billy, if he was that guy that I thought he was, or everybody was saying that he was, I thought he should have been able to get Derevyanchenko out of there. Now, I do give Derevyanchenko credit because he's a veteran. So with two good arms, I could see him surviving and tackling and just doing the whole thing where you're just not gonna get knocked out. You're just gonna refuse. But with a bad wing, and Billy really couldn't do it, I said, man, a skilled boxer with both of his arms, both of his legs, you know what I'm saying, two good phalanges, and, you know, have that skills like a Pacheco. They know how to fight behind the jab, use his range, keep his distance, you know what I'm saying? I think he ain't going to be able to do nothing with those more surgical guys. But
yeah,
if you get engaged and in brawl with him and you allow him to entice you into a fight, yeah, he can catch you on one of them power wings and overwhelm you.
Definitely, you will get slept. You talk about getting in a firefight with Billy, and that's where I like Billy, but it's like right now I see your limitations. I can already see the guys that they may not stop you, but they're gonna beat you on points. You know, 3 out of 5 fights or 4 out of 5 fights. You feel what I'm saying? And for me, that's the Diego Pacheco's, that's the Hamza Shiraz's. You feel what I'm saying? The Iglesias, and quiet is kept. For me, a really, really good fight for Billy. I think that he would love, and his opponent would love, is that Billy and Edgar Berlanga got in the mix.
Yeah, that'll be a good fight. Now, and Billy, he just came out of he just stopped and knocked out Magic Selecki, who had 4 losses, and he only been knocked out twice. Once was to Diego Pacheco, who did it in the 6th round. So, and Billy did exactly what he was supposed to do. So this is 2 fights later. So he came back against Ali Akhmedov and he TKO'd him, you know, Magic Selecki did. and then he turned around and he fights and Billy stops him in the first round. So when you're spelling a guy or you're trying to get common opponents and you're trying to make things happen, he did exactly what he was supposed to do. Now this is an older guy. He's 36, you know, and how many rounds? 239 rounds. He got almost not quite a 40%, but a 39.39% knockout rate. And he lost a unanimous decision to Andre. So early on, he went the distance with Andre. He lost unanimous decision with the distance with Danny Jacobs. He TKO Hugo Santana. So this was a tricky veteran, man. This is a guy, so for Billy to come in there and do that in the first round, a la like young Sko did to Tevin Farmer, that's impressive.
Yeah.
Now it was rumors that something was going on with Pacheco and they didn't really want to go that route with Billy, and I'm like, ooh, because they were trying to say my man Pacheco was ducking, and I'm like, I don't know, I need more information. I think Eddie got a plan with Pacheco, and he know that he got a star in Pacheco because he's already headlining. He do excellent body work. He got, I think, you know, he's one of my guys. You know what I'm saying? I got high on him early. When I started, I said, oh my goodness, with that frame, and you know how to use it, and you do body work, and he's steadily growing. And then he, you know, he passed the test with the Soko, because Soko was looking like a tough out. Soko was looking like, you know, which I think he still is, but a savvy veteran, got the tutelage behind, you know, with Bud and all them, you know, he's part of that camp and all that. But he passed that test. But I love the way Pacheco fight, man. I was like, man, this dude got everything he needs, man. You know, and he's so young and he seems mature, but I just like his style, man. So that's the guy that I'm kind of looking at, you know what I'm saying, as the key player, the major player, as he grows. And I just hope Eddie do right by him, man.
Yeah. Yeah, like for me, when I first heard that Pacheco was going to fight Billy, and whatever happened, those negotiations fell apart. Diego found himself looking for another opponent, and So Cold steps up just off of just him tweeting and shit like that. When So Cold stepped up, I was like, that fight's not supposed to happen in this era. Mm-hmm. You are not supposed to have a fighter that's you know, that's that promising face a guy like So Cold, and you really didn't want a guy like So Cold to take such a young out like that. You feel what I'm saying? So for me, it was almost like a step up fight for both of them, but it was a weird dynamic to the step up fight to say, all right, if either one of you can get past this, everything else in the division is easy.
And I think, and for me, what it was this what it told me. See, if you see how Eddie been moving boots, and you see how Eddie moves some of his other guys, this move with him fighting So Cold so early, let me know that Eddie believes in this guy.
Yeah, that's
you know what I'm saying? Because Eddie, you see how Eddie move with certain fighters, it's almost like he kind of, you know, and he's not the starter pack. He get these guys when they already got it, man. They pretty much got something going. They got a history. They pretty much got an identity. They just need something on the promotional side, somebody to get behind them, put them in the fights. But he still kind of holds some of his fighters by the hand, but he let this man headline and he put him out there and say, look,
yeah.
And it wasn't even a sink or swim. It was like, hey, man, I know you got this. Go ahead, you know what I'm saying, put in that work. And he came out. He had a little adversity in it, you know what I'm saying? He figured him out. It got ugly for a second with all them uppercuts, you know, but you know, that means Eddie believes in this guy.
Yeah.
That's what it told me.
And it told me when he was trying to fight Billy, I was like, Eddie believes in this dude. Because Billy, even though, you know, he still needs, in my opinion, he still needs some work with his technique. But again, it would fall kind of into that Mexican machismo where they want to stand and bang, which some people gave Pacheco that criticism. Like he'll stay inside too long. And it's like, but he knows what he's doing in there. It's not like you looking at a Sebastian Fundora who got clipped because he decided to stay there too long and back out with his head straight up. Pacheco doesn't do shit like that.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? But for me, I was like, listen, if he gonna fight Mbili, he gonna beat Mbili down, bro. It's gonna be interesting. I believe he gonna get caught, and if he could survive that power, it's gonna be a unanimous decision type fight for me. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm still standing 10 toes down on that because I like Mbili a lot. I like what he's bringing to the table. It's just I guess there's certain things like we were saying about Schofield, we were saying about Brian Norman. You got the tangibles, you just got to put certain things together. You need like the bridge work. So if you're going to throw this punch, how do you set that up? You just, right now, you just throwing it, and it's extremely telegraphed. To a fighter with a high IQ, they're going to see how you planting your feet, and they're going to see the little twitches in the shoulder. And they're going to be like, oh, he getting ready to throw that power punch. So let me get up under it, and then I'm going to tag him.
He definitely need to work on his jab, and then I think he's too wide.
Yeah.
He was a disciplined guy, and he's going to have to risk having to get on the inside. And like you said, to your point, if Fundora did a little bit more what Pacheco did, even if he fought almost like kind of like Hamza, because Hamza got some of it. We're gonna get on the Hamza in a second, but like it's gonna be very hard for him to get on the inside. Now, if he get on the inside, I don't think Pacheco is just gonna stand there and let him go to the breadbasket the way he do. But he's too wide. I could see him I could see him winding up, cocking back from one of them power wings and getting uppercutted, you know what I'm saying, to obliteration.
Straight punches beat him.
So,
but I like his style, bro. I think he goes far and slowly work on it. Pick yourself up a couple of boxers. You feel what I'm saying? I'm gonna say it like this, and it's probably gonna freak some people out. William Skull fought Vladimir Shevchenko, right?
Mm-hmm.
A horrible looking fight, but Vladimir Shevchenko and both William Skull, you know, when they choose to box, they can box. I would leave Skull out because I don't think Skull would want to engage with Mbili, but I think Vladimir would want to engage to show off his boxing. And I think that would be the type of fight to give Mbili more of a cleaner look, or start to get those cleaner looks with facing pure boxers. If not that, then see if you can get a Caleb Plant. Or another good one for him would be Resendiz. Give me Mbili versus Resendiz. Let's see what you do about that. Let's see what you do with that. Because Resendiz got technique. He's got drive, and he's got, like you say, that body work. And let's see what Mbili do with that. Fight. Or is Resendiz just a step too much for Mbili at this point?
I don't know. I think that's a good fight. That's a good match. I would love to see that. It's just I think that Mbili is like right on the verge of title contention.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much they'll risk him with somebody tough before he get his bite at the apple, because I think everybody's sitting around. They kind of sitting around almost like how 147 was with Bud and Spence, and they just sitting around like buzzers, just waiting. Yeah. You know what I'm saying, for that to be over with, so everybody can make their run, because it's kind of on hold right now.
Yeah,
you know, and nobody want to lose their spot, because I think that's kind of like what happened with. If I had the reason, I'm thinking that's what happened with Pacheco and Billy, where it's like, look, man, we looking forward, we on the up and up. But I think he's getting ready to fight McCumbee, who was in there with Caleb Plant. So,
who, Billy or Diego?
Diego getting ready to fight McCumbee.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that fight.
July 19th, baby.
I like that fight for Diego. I really, really like that fight for Diego, because for me, it'll allow him to showcase his talent. I'm not gonna say McCumbee is tailor-made for him, but an opponent like McCumbee, for me, is a matched fight for Diego, because it'll allow Diego to clean up some of the things that he does wrong, but also shine in the areas of things he does right.
Yeah, because McCombie, man, he kind of got. I think he got a little power. He kind of awkward, and see that's what make this interesting. Because the most interesting fight I seen Pacheco in that had me a little nervous was the dude Sean McCalman, because McCalman was awkward.
Yeah,
He can box, but I don't think he get credit, and I think he's just now coming into his own. But he's one of them guys that don't get an opportunity because he's actually really good. He just under the radar. He don't talk a lot. Like it's not really. He not really gonna sell the fight like that. He just gonna get in there with his awkward style and get off, because he was 15-0 at that point in time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So let me see what he's went on to do. Now he's 16-1. But he's good. He's one of them guys that don't get no credit. But McCalman, that was the most interesting fight I seen Pacheco in, where I'm like, ooh, this, it's one of them guys that you come out with the dub, but you don't look good.
Yeah, and it just happens sometimes. We seen some of the legends get involved with several of them fights. A guy that'll do it to you all day, every day, even if you beat him, is Aaron Pryor. Aaron Pryor gonna make you look bad whether you beat him or not.
Sean Porter was like that too.
Exactly. It's like, bro, this is why dudes didn't want to fuck with Sean Porter. This is why I liked Sean Porter a lot. But for me, Sean Porter was a love-hate relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Because I loved what he did and the fact that he's always going after the smoke, but his fighting style and beating people up and just making the fight ugly and dirty, I was like, I hate that shit. I fucking hate you, but I love your style, bro. But I fucking hate you. You feel what I'm saying? So, it was funny because some fights I'm rooting for Sean Porter, some fights I'm like, kick this motherfucker's ass. You feel what I'm saying? So, Mbili is kind of like that for me. McCombie, he's just a fighter, that I just like because he's a dog. He's like my Clay Guida of boxing. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, he came out with the goofy mustache and the aviation glasses and the Trump hat and shit like that. But he fought his heart out.
Yeah, and if you watch his interviews and where he coming from, he just like to fight. He a down to earth dude. I think he did that for sensationalism a little bit, the hat and all that. But like, I don't really think he like that. But yeah, he's definitely an interesting style, man. He gave Caleb Plant, everything he wanted. You know what I'm saying? I think Caleb Plant, he just made an adjustment and really took it to McCombie, and that's when I say, okay, maybe Caleb has progressed, but then we see what happened here recently, and it's like, oh, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro. But like you just didn't want to lose for that fight. He just didn't want to lose to the dude in the Trump hat, not knowing that he's got a Latina girlfriend or black girlfriend or whatever, but wifey or whatever, but. For me, I think that's why Caleb was extra in that, and Cindy was just too much for him.
Let's get into the Hamza Shiraz and Edgar Berlanga, man. Or what? Yeah. How do you I know sometimes we go back and forth, and we be like, like, how are you seeing this fight?
Now that the fight is getting closer, I'm really, really liking this fight, because if Hamza doesn't box like the Hamza we know, Hamza is going to probably get knocked out. I'm just going to put it out there. If he boxes like the Hamza we know, this is going to be an amazing thing to watch. You feel what I'm saying? Yes, I think it's going to get dirty at some point if he boxes the way Hamza boxes, because that's going to have a lot of elements that are going to frustrate the shit out of Berlanga, and Berlanga's just going to start taking reckless chances, and he could be stopped or TKO'd. More than likely a TKO. My path to victory, what I see for Hamza in this fight, is either going to be a majority decision along that line, or or a TKO. I see Edgar Berlanga winning rounds. You feel what I'm saying? I see Berlanga possibly getting into a position, where he catches Hamza, and things may get a little bit ugly for him and shit like that, because this is his first fight at that weight class, and we already seen Berlanga can pack that weight on for rehydration. So we really gonna see what's there. And Berlanga should win this shit. I think it's gonna be a shock to the boxing world that, oh shit, he beat Hamza. You feel what I'm saying? It's gonna be a big shock to Turk. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm expecting Hamza to go out there, show up and show out. But if he's not boxing the way I know Hamza, then I'm going for him to get knocked out.
Yes, it's a couple interesting dynamics. It's so funny to me how nobody's saying nothing about Hamza. This one being his first time up there at 68. Two, the fact that, shoot, I think Edgar called out, who did he call? He called out a cruiserweight. He called out a heavyweight after that. And I'm like, nobody's saying nothing about him moving up a division. That's why I say people be biased in their talking points as far as somebody moving up. No, that's not a talking point anywhere. But my only question is Hamza Siraz's chin. Now, I know he has the skills, and it's almost like the same thing I seen with Tevin Farmer when he fought Zepeda the second time. It's like, okay, he had something was wrong with his hand. So I kind of give him a mulligan for the Carlos Adamas, even though Carlos Adamas, he made me eat crow.
Yeah, both.
You know what I'm saying? Because we both thought, man, Hamza about to, you know what I'm saying? He about to technically box this dude head off, because he uses his range. He got a nasty little uppercut, and he got one of them things to where it's almost like it's not a windmill punch, but it's like trying to get in between a fan. Like, he be swinging them things, and he know how to do it accurate, and he knows how to step back when he's doing it to keep you at bay and tee off on you, so you getting full leverage off his punches. And it might not look like it hurt, but them dudes, them long arms, like the Fundors, him, even Bud to a certain extent for his height, you get full leverage. That shit is like a torque wrench. You know what I'm saying? So I was questioning, okay, with a hand, with a great hand, with two good hands, two good phalanges, and and he's hydrated or feeling better, because if he was draining himself or whatever, how would this fight go? And I say that the only weakness is, we know Berlanga got power. We know that Berlanga touch you on that chin the right way, you can go night. This is what I question, AC. I question whether or not Berlanga is too high off of the Canelo. I guess it's the I went the distance tour.
Yeah. Because
now I've seen a really big channel talking about, he went the distance with Canelo, man. Somebody was like, what that mean? He's like, that mean he durable. I'm like, but they were saying that Pitbull Cruz's whole claim to fame was going the distance with Tank. I'm like making that a bad thing. I'm like, yeah, because the odds are you're not. But they flip flop now. So now he gets credit for going the distance. I mean, I guess they forget that Jermell Charlo still went the distance, and he ain't Edgar Berlanga size, but he still went the distance, and he jumped up too. But he gets no credit for that. So I'm all for that. I went the distance with Canelo badge. If you want a hat and a t-shirt, we can send you one of them and say, hey, been there, done that. So he's high off of that. And then he came back and knocked out the dude that did a 10-year bid with a C-section, and he got him out of the way real fast. I think it was in the second or third round. And I'm like, does he have a false sense of confidence going into this fight?
It would appear that way, bro, because at the end of the day, the thing that struck me as weird on his end was, okay, I get it, you feeling yourself, but because you fighting in New York, what do you mean this is my shit? Like, what do you mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, you know, yeah, you say you went to distance, but Mel was just there for a payday.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, sometimes those type of talking points lets me know something else. For me, like I'm saying, I'm expecting Hamza to come out and box like Hamza. And he's at another weight class. So as long as he could take that power up there, bro, Berlanga, you about to get the shit beat out you. You feel what I'm, it's gonna be funny and ugly at the same fucking time. You know what I'm saying? But Berlanga, because he does have that puncher's chance. And I don't know how Hamza's going to be able to deal with that power, because when you look at the Adames fight, when you look at the Ammo fight, some of these like power punchers or semi-power punchers that just know how to get on the inside, these were some of the guys that gave Hamza some power, some trouble, because once they got in, you know, his arms was just too long to try to get up there and fully defend himself, because he doesn't have that winky right type of high guard that just like covered everything. You feel what I'm saying? And you know, they was able to get off some shots and have some people question Hamza and stuff like that, and question his chin. Like if he really get flush caught by a real power puncher, what's gonna happen? So we're gonna see a lot of this shit, and a lot of answers are gonna be, a lot of questions will be answered. And for me, I'm looking for a lot of questions to be answered on Hamza's part, because I'm a big fan of Hamza.
Yeah. Would you say Hamza got the faster hands, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm noticing this with a lot of the taller fighters, because this is one of them things I seen with Kelvin, I seen it with Fundora. It's almost like when they in their range and they feel comfortable because they at their range, it's like once somebody breach the range and they're on the inside, they're like, oh shit, like, because they not prepared for it. And as a taller dude, I'm guessing they're not used to people getting in, because like that's how Mendoza actually got Fundora.
Yeah.
With like a kind of like a weird where his head was low, like almost like how Buddy Court was catching Avius, like head down, and he threw that joint because he knew the chin was gonna be there, but you know what I'm saying, he didn't want to get hit with no shit, so he kind of like ducked his head down and threw that overhand, like, and it just landed, and they don't be expecting it. So you know, I think it's Hamza gonna have to fight. He not gonna be able to make a mistake, because you can see Berlanga, he'll get a little hype, and he definitely knows that he's gonna have to land his punch. I don't necessarily agree with the fact that that it's that he's being set up either. I mean, yeah, that's Turkey's guy, but when you take that bag and you go over there, that's what I was saying. You gotta that's his guy stuff, like all that's out the window. We're not gonna give no excuses for that, because we know that going in. It's almost like, you know, in this court, when you go play basketball, that it slopes over there, or you know, when we play with this basketball, it got a titty in it. It's like that's a given. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got to go through that. So when you sign up, you get on that terrain, you go into them terms with these guys. You know, no excuse. Go in there and perform.
Yeah. Like I'm saying, for me, my thing is, if he gets knocked out, what Turk gonna do about that?
Right.
He gonna tell him no, knockout back. So it's his guy to a certain degree. That if he's not fighting the way he fights and gets knocked out by the line, Turk can't do shit about that.
Yeah, like, so if it's going to see, the thing is, if it's going the distance and you don't make that separation to where it's like it's clear that you just beating the shit out of them, that's one thing, right? But you got to think, I mean, as far as the ring size, you would say the smaller ring, or 18 foot, that probably would benefit you a little bit more, Berlanga, because that's a tall dude. He can't move around but so much. He take 3 steps, he gonna be on the ropes already. So that's to your advantage. It's in New York, so that's to your advantage. You know what I'm saying? You got the fight. Like he gave you the fight. He offering you up to his guy. So, I don't know who has the more pressure on him in this fight.
I'm gonna give the slight edge to Berlanga.
Oh, you dropped off. AC dropped off for a second. But yeah, I would say yeah, because of the Canelo stuff, this bad boy mentality, all that stuff talking, all that noise, all of the braggadocio. I would kind of say Berlanga because he's expected. He's the bigger man. It's in his backyard, even though it's a turkey event, it's still in his backyard. But go ahead before you got.
Yeah. But basically, I was saying, I give the slight edge to pressure to Berlanga because I would have said I think it's more even. You feel what I'm saying? Because Hamza has to prove who he is coming off that Adames loss. So I thought the pressure, that's a lot of pressure to have. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna say that Adames lost. But Berlanga, he's coming off of what people would perceive as an impressive knockout and shit like that. So people want to see him, really fight some real competition. And regardless of Hamza coming up, Hamza is almost like a step-up fight for Berlanga. So now that you've been trying to tell people that this is your show, it's your event, you told the Turk this, you the Turk's son, I already know what I gotta do. I gotta knock this dude out because they're not gonna give me the decision and yada yada yada. He's saying that on the card, then now you gotta back all of that up. Because of what you did.
And it could be a trap because Hamza does have the experience of being in with Adames and seeing how, because you got to think. I know Edgar Berlanga's coach is going to look at some of the success that Adames had and be like, yeah, we can do a little bit of that. We can kind of mimic or emulate that. We got our own, but we know we got more power than Adames.
Exactly.
But Shiraz has the experience and supposedly he had a bad hand. So, it could be a trap. He could feel better. He could be hydrated, not having to suck down. He could be. What would be scary is if Hamza has more power. If he has power, like if he's stronger.
Yeah, because he's been quoted as having sneaky power. It's the type of power where when you see it and you watching film of him, you're not thinking it's that great. You thinking it's more punch placement and timing. But then some of the dudes that got hit by him, especially when they do the UK channels, they like, yeah, that dude got sneaky power. Even people that he sparred with, they're like, his power is crazy. It feels like you're getting hit with by a heavyweight, as some people said. So his weapon against Berlanga is going to be straight punches, maybe a check hook, and that uppercut. Because when he starts to frustrate Berlanga's going to try to duck down low and come over the top. And that's where Hamza, that masterful step back, uppercut, shoot out the lazy, make you commit, step back, uppercut, boom. I think that's going to be the punch that just, is going to constantly make the difference in the fight. So, for me, Berlanga, if he's really studying tape, I'm not going to see. I'm gonna say maybe Ammo Williams and Berlanga feet are similar. You feel what I'm saying? maybe it was Ammo's strength that allowed him to throw those jabs, and Hamza was trying to avoid some of those like shotgun style jabs, but Ammo would just get in close enough and just start winging punches, and as he's winging punches, he's stepping in, and Hamza just looked like for a minute or at times he just didn't know how to process that. Like, okay, what do I do? Do I go into a high guard? Do I push him back? Do I pivot around? Like he was thinking and trying to process the situation. If you get Hamza like that, then those advantages then start to tip, in my opinion, towards Berlanga.
Yeah, I think.
Go ahead.
I think Ammo is kind of awkward a little bit, and I think that if he line you up with that right hand and catch you flush, he could put anybody down. But see, the thing is, I noticed a difference in Ammo after that fight. Ammo don't look the same. I'm like, man, Hamza might have wrecked him, man. And that happens, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That happens sometimes, but getting knocked out, you're stopped and stuff. That, like, I think because his style kind of changed, but Ammo is a little awkward, and I don't see the progression in Ammo after that. So I think that was just one of them things to where in boxing you're gonna get hit. Yeah. And I think Hamza might be one of them people, even though this might not be the guy to do it, to where sometimes it's like rinse, wash, repeat, and then when you get hit, you wake up and you're like, oh shit, now I got, I need that, I'm on my game. Almost like I see what's his name, Oshak.
Yeah.
Sometimes like Oshaki, you kind of like almost like a cardiac kid, like almost to where you gotta sometimes Tank like that. You fuck around and hit Tank and he wake up on you. You know what I'm saying? He'll be like, okay, all right, so it might be a little bit of that, but I think Ammo was just a little awkward. And he definitely got power, but to a more skilled person, ain't gonna be able to do nothing like that. And I think that he can frustrate Berlanga.
Yeah.
He can, making Berlanga work to get on the inside, don't let him get close, you know what I'm saying, turning him, being first, making him reset his feet so he can't, make him get wild, because he's gonna try to, he's looking, we know Berlanga, he's trying to get that one shot in. He coming in with that almost like that Wilder mentality, like all I gotta do is touch that chin good once. I already know, and Hamza just gotta stay disciplined, wear him down, pray on his conditioning, because he hydrates like a big boy. Yeah, Hamza needs to take him into this deep waters. Try to turn it on him in the 11th and 12th. That's what I would say. I'm leaning towards Hamza, but I know he could, if he do allow Berlanga to touch that chin because of all that stuff, he gonna sell out, man. He gonna sell out. So I am leaning towards Hamza, but I some points I don't know, because it's gonna be his first time up there. So that's that. Let's move on. Let's get into Aussie Iglesias, El Tornado. This man got a 92% knockout ratio. He's been fighting for coming up on 6 years. He's a southpaw. He's 6'2.5", and he's literally like wrecking shit. His resume. He got a center Ekbeko. He stopped him back in August in the second round. Light work, you know what I'm saying? But he's getting people out of there in 4 or 5 rounds. The last he went to the 10th back in 2022. So he went the last time he went past the 5th round was back in 2022, December. So I don't know if it's the level of competition, but these guys, they don't look that bad. Like they don't have like no super update. Like 21-2, that's the guy he went 10 rounds with. The last guy before that was a first rounder. He was 27-9. He fought a dude 11-0, sparked him in the 4th. 32-6-1. Mark Kosaras, I think I know him, sparked him in the 1st. Shevchenko 16-1, sparked him in the 1st. Senna Becca, he was 28-3, sparked him in the 2nd. And then that dude, Petro Ivanov, he was 18-0-2. TKO'd him in the 5th. So, you know, it looked like he's a force to be reckoned with. And it's a lot of people. I know that used to be I know when I used to go over the H Money channel, he was big on he was starting to become big on Iglesias.
Yeah. Like, for me, I like Iglesias. You know what I'm saying? But like, I think at times when I look at Iglesias, I'm like, this dude is nice, but it's also I'm also questioning his level of competition. Some of these guys, you know, that he fought are, you know, they 21-2. He got a 27-9, a 26-8. His only weird fight is the 23 and 23-4. You feel what I'm saying? He fought some dude out of Copenhagen and shit like that, and named Bernard
Donfack.
You feel what I'm saying? Which he did what he was supposed to do. Got the guy out of there in the second round of an 8-round fight. You feel what I'm saying? So when we put him through the looking glass, you feel what I'm saying? And a strong talking point that Hitchens has is he's never fought a guy with an upside down record.
Yep.
This is the closest thing to that. You feel what I'm saying? Because I give him props for it because he got the dude out of there in the second round. Anything past the second round, I'd have been like, you feel what I'm saying when I'm going back and looking at it. He's got a 62-16 guy. You feel what I'm saying? But overall, when I look at him, I say, okay, for him to really get the recognition that he's looking for, does he need to find a big name American trainer like a Roy Jones, like a Winky Wright, like a Prentice? But Prentice might be too young. You feel what I'm saying? But somebody along those lines, to whereas he gets that exposure because he's got a recognizable camp and name behind where he trains at.
Yeah, George Bramowski and Marcus Reese are his coaches. I think it's really just a matter of time because what's surprising me is that, you know, he's Cuban, but he's bringing that power. A lot of the time, the Cuban is just known for being just solid boxers or box your head off if you let him. But he got some thump.
Yeah.
Like, and he got that predator instinct, man. He not in there. He trying to take it out of the judge's hands, which is my kind of fighter, man.
Yeah, and
he's 27 years old. 13 fights. It's only one dude went the distance, and that was an African dude, man. Ain't no telling how, but he went 12 rounds with the dude. That's the only guy that went 12 with him. And like you said, he don't have nobody with an upside down record. Dude, Buddy was even. He was 24-2.
Yeah.
So he seemed like the real deal. Everything points to it. I mean, only thing we can do is hope that these guys get in there with him. But I think he's coming up to a point to where he ain't gonna be able to be denied.
Yeah. Now here's another caveat that, you know, just between some of the Latin channels that I was scrolling through that do actually speak English, there were rumblings that they were moving David Morrell to stay away from Iglesias. And Iglesias was kind of trying to chase David Morrell when Morrell was at 68. Because he knew that, you know, both of them being Cuban, if he could knock off David Morrell, he'll pick up that steam from David Morrell.
I think it's some. I heard something about that. I heard something about that a while ago. It's been a minute because
Yeah.
I heard something about that. I guess that's not that far fetched. That's
So
not that far
it
fetched.
was supposed to be alleged, rumored, but I was like, bro, that shit make a lot of sense, man. The way he get down to be out here chasing David Morrell, and some of these dudes would say, listen, that's why Morrell attacked his name when he to Benavidez, because he just didn't want to face this guy. So I was like, ooh, that's a little tidbit right there. Where's my cup of tea and shit like that I could sit real sarcastically slow for real. So I was, that was one of those internet rumor type things that, for me, coming from the perspective that I'm coming from, I kind of believed it, and I really wanted to latch onto it, but there wasn't no clear cut confirmation on it. So I was like, oh man, that's if that's even remotely true, that would really shake the dynamic up at 168, and have really had people talking about Iglesias much more than they was talking about him by that time. There might have been a call for Benavidez to see Iglesias, and there probably was. It's like, if you're gonna see this dude, why not see Iglesias? And I think I saw somebody say that at the David Morrell weigh-ins, when he was like 8-0 on the tank card, and they was bringing him up. They was bigging him up as the one of the shortest champs, one of the fastest guys to become a champion. And I don't know what belt Morrell had at that point, but the comments was just one after the other. Why don't Morrell fight Iglesias? And that's the first time for me I was really seeing this Iglesias name.
Well, in the WBC, he's number 6. Only people ahead of him is Diego Pacheco, some guy named Luca Plantic, Jaime Munguia, Jamal Charlo. In the IBF, he got Shishkin, and he getting ready to fight him. So he getting ready to lock down that IBF. So anybody in IBF line from you gonna get rid of Shishkin, I believe.
Oh my God. Yo, I don't expect, if anybody seen Shishkin fight and you seen Iglesias fight, you're not looking for this fight to go past 3 rounds unless Shishkin literally runs. Like, he has to literally run, because that bullshit he did with William Skull. Shishkin about to go to sleep early. Expect something that may look like that Brian Norman Jin Sasaki knockout. That shit look like, if he brave enough to do that shit gonna look ugly. Oh my God.
I don't know how Jaime Munguia is still at 4 after him popping and all that. William Skull, he's in that line at number 8. But it's gonna be slim pickings. I don't think nobody gonna be trying to run up on him if he get. It look like he about to go for that IBF, and I think that's when that unified, when everything get unified and we get who's who at Undisputed, whether it's gonna be a trilogy or whatever. I don't think nobody gonna be fucking with him with that IBF. In the WBA, Beck the Bully is number 1. He done worked himself back up because he just beat Darius Fulgham. Darius Fulgham dropped down to number 6. Jamal Charlo was there, so that might get interesting. To Jamal Charlo and Beckhamir. I don't know if they even make that. Lester Martinez is number 3. Somebody gonna have to see him. He getting close. They still got Caleb Plant at number 4, which I don't know how, but and then Edgar Berlanga's behind him. Darius Fulgham, Callum Simpson, Diego Pacheco's number 8, and then they get a little fuzzy. And in the WBC, The number 1 spot is vacant. Jamal is number 2. Jaime Munguia is number 3. Again, I don't know how they have him right there after that, after him popping. I don't know. This guy, Luca Plantic, we got to look him up. Because this dude, his name is high. His name is pretty high.
I'll look him up right now. I'll look him up right
Luca
now.
Plantic. And then
It's a K or a C?
C. Oh, Luca is K and Plantic is IC, like plastic, but Plantic.
All right.
You got Selecki, he just got wiped.
Yeah.
Edgar Belonga, Lester Martinez. Lester Martinez is his name is getting pretty high. It's about to get real spicy up there, man.
All right. So he's ranked number 11 in his home country. He's the number 1 ranked guy out of 6 guys. He's got 12 bouts, 71 rounds in, 75% knockout ratio. He's 5'11 and a half. They don't have his reach. His residence is Solin, Croatia.
Croatia.
Yeah, so he's, now that I see he's Croatian, I don't sleep on the Croatian fighters. You feel what I'm saying? For me, that they're also the epitome of that European Russian boxing style. Same shit that you expect from Petreviev and Bivol, Kovalev and dudes like that. So somewhere along the line, he's probably a descendant of one of their gyms or some shit like that. He's 12-0 with 9 knockouts. Let's look at 11-0, 14-7, 22-2, 20-10, 22-5, 25-10, 22-5, up 14-20. There it is.
Yeah, he only got 2 upside down fights, 1 2-5 and 1 14-20. But he's just now, he only got like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 10 rounders. So that speaks to something too. He's been in, but he got a 75% knockout ratio. He must got a little pop.
Yeah.
But let me read this comment real quick. Morrell versus Benavidez should rematch. That scrap was the best one this year, in my opinion. What's up, fella? Salute, Johnny. Salute. And then he said Steve Nelson did look good. That fight, L-Dub. Yeah, I'm thinking, man, I'm thinking that scrap, Morrell and David, they might see each other again, man. I don't think that's the last of that. We got to see how Morrell bounced back. I think Morrell might have learned something from that, because Benavidez must got sneaky power, man, because, I wouldn't, he kind of put his hands in his pocket a little bit, Morrell, in my opinion. But I think he probably grew from that fight. That's going to be like a lesson learned for how athletic and how talented David Morrell is. And I think we might get to see that again. I wouldn't rule it out. And yeah, and then Steve Nelson, yeah, that was one of our guys. He just ran into the other guy who I think is probably like, he's closer to the future, man, in Diego Pacheco, in my opinion. But this might be one of them divisions to where on any given night, depending on how it looks, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like, I'm making my predictions, but these guys could punch. At 168, these guys that are coming up and showing out, they could box and they could punch. If they can't box like that, they still can punch. So this is the type of division that good fights sometimes may mean a stoppage, because you're talking about technique and power, or just, power. So I like what's going on at 168 right now. It's mega exciting.
And most of these guys be like 5'11", anywhere between 5'11" and 6'2". So, they decent sized dudes. That's like, they got size on them, man, and athletic. I would love to see Pacheco versus Benavidez. The sparring alone is lit. Too bad they fight out of the same team. Yeah, I wanted to speak about that. I think this is one of them things to where I believe Senior is, I think he's just like in heaven right now, because when he get a guy like Diego Pacheco, man, with the skill set and the frame he got and how technically sound he is, man, to be that young and then have that power that he got, man, I think that he's just like a kid in the candy store with him. So I'm happy for Senior, because I've seen people trying to drive a wedge between Senior and Junior, which I can't stand. But David is his own man. So yeah, they'll probably never. I don't think they ever would. I mean, I think Benavidez would, but I don't think they're going to do it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if we'll ever see that.
Yeah, I would question that too. That's a fight that I would like to see. You feel what I'm saying? But at this particular stage in both their careers, I don't know if Diego ever gets there to where he could really like stand that pressure that Benavidez is going to put on him. You're talking about two. For me, it's two bits of skill. Diego is nice, but you know, if you look at how So Cold made it really, really rough for him, Benavidez could do that shit in the first round. Benavidez is not going to wait to the 12th round. So that's where it's just like one of these situations. Like, yeah, I would love to see it, but realistically, you're not on that level yet. And by the time you get on that level, you know, Benavidez is not that old, but he may not even be in a weight that you could actually see him in, because there are rumors out there or rumblings, alleged, that he may be talking about going up to cruiser, because I don't think he likes the fact that every time he's asked to, you know, have a tune-up fight or whatever, right after that tune-up fight, it's like people freeze him out.
Mm-hmm. So, hey Johnny, what you think about this? AC is alluding to the fact that there might be rumors that Benavidez might be going up to go see Jai Opataya. What you think about that, Johnny? David Benavidez going up to see Jai Opataya at cruiser, because it seems like people don't really want to fight Jai Opataya either, and that's like some predator shit right there. You know how everybody know how Benavidez move. He bought that action. He want that smoke.
Word.
He's so hungry to like stamp his name and his legacy. I mean, I think it's stamped to a certain extent, but he ready to set it off. He ready to have the big fight after big fight after big fight, and he's a people's champ. People love David Benavidez. He won me over.
Yeah.
He said he ain't ready for that smoke.
And that's where I'm like, Benny, I love you to death, bro, but you talk about Opataya? God damn, Benny, you pushing it, man. Like, if you can climb that mountain, bro, no Diddy, yo, listen, man, you are legendary. You are legendary. So if this is what you want to do, skill-wise, technique-wise, I'm with you, bro. But it's just putting on that weight, fucking with Opataya, my nigga. That's like, bro, that's that fucking I don't know, bro. That's just different. But I respect the gangster, bro. I love it. As a fan of yours, I love it.
I like Benavidez because he just strike me as the type that he like the fight, and he just always feel like, man, we fighting. If we fighting, I got a chance. I'm fighting, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, he like the rest of these so-called champions, they pussy. So we'll see what Opataya, because Opataya act like he wants smoke. It ain't like a whole bunch of dudes up there is running out there calling out Opataya's name. I was like, if Opataya, I don't want to see him sit around for like a year or fighting once a year or whatever. If that's the case for you there, bro, just take it up to heavyweight.
Johnny said he still think Beterbiev will punch a hole in his head. So I guess you just not that high on Benavidez. I don't know, but Beterbiev, man, you know, he's showing some signs, man, that he might have aged overnight, man. What you think, Johnny? You don't think he done aged? You don't think he's starting to show a little of his age now? Body breaking down, and you know that you can say what you want, but then we're kind of like wars with Bivol, man. That's a lot. There's a lot of mental pressure. There's a lot of training. He finally went through a full camp, like without no, you know. I think his body's starting to tell on him, man. Now might be the time where Benavidez might turn up on him, Johnny. But let me ask you, Johnny, what you think the future? What the main topic of the show? What do you think about the future of 68? Who got it, or who do you think has the most potential? Not at all. Bivol scraped by that first. I had him winning. I actually had him winning both though, because I think it was a matter of I guess you could say he turned up at the end, but Beterbiev closed out the first one, so that's how he is. It's almost like what happened with Loma and Devin, where it's like Loma could have won, but he took his foot off the gas later on, and Devin had a slight resurgence, you know, at the end, at the end. So it was a photo finish, but I think it was a matter of preference, and of course, Beterbiev he tends to do more damage. Canelo holds 60. Well, yeah, but we talking about the future, Johnny. We not talking about the man with the grape vineyard. We talking about the future. We talking about the young. We talking about, you see these young guns right here: Pacheco and Billy, Shiraz, Berlanga, Aussies, Iglesias, Resendiz, Lester Martinez. We talking about the new guys, the guys that's coming up, like the next thing that we gonna look at. That's why it's still the biggest duck of all time. Who the biggest duck of all time? Explain that one to me, Johnny. I don't know what you're saying. That's why it's the biggest duck of all time. Oh, you saying Canelo and Benavidez? But boxing magic, man. Come on, man. Like you trying to, y'all, I guess. Come on, man. Come on, man. I guess you can say we respect Canelo, man, but we talking about the future, bro. We getting off the beaten path over here, man. We looking forward, man. We trying to give the people some up and coming names, some people to get excited about. Yep, he would never live that one down. Yeah. But who you saying duck, Johnny? I know you ain't saying Benavidez. Please. But boxing magic, you think Canelo would beat Benavidez, even though I don't consider him a new guy? I say in Billy or Pacheco. Yeah. No Canelo duck. Okay. All right, Johnny. I just had to clarify. I get you. We on the same sheet of music.
Oh, so he thinks that the division is going to be taken over by Billy or Pacheco?
Yeah, he was saying, when he was saying the duck, he was saying as far as Canelo and Benavidez, he was saying the duck is on the era of Canelo side. I'm like, okay, we tracking then. But he's saying as far as the future, he could see Billy or Pacheco. Don't forget, go check out this guy, Aussies Iglesias, too, man. The dude looking legit, man. He looking legit. Now, we got to see, level of competition and then known names and what they can do. That's two different things. But right now, he ain't really fought nobody with an upside down record. He's the closest thing to what Richardson Hitchens did, who he don't get credit for. And that means something. Because that means at the level you at, you fighting guys that are winners, at every level, beginning to end. Like a lot of people be having like their first fight be like a dude that's like 1-4, and their second fight might be a dude that's like 5-8 or something like that, and then they fight somebody that's like
0-6 and shit like that.
Yeah. He said, I think Berlanga has a shot to dominate 168, but Pacheco could do it also. There we go. There we go. See, I want to see. That's what I want to see. I'm ready for that smoke. I want to see. But see, I like Hamza. So I got to go with whoever wins. But I know they're going to want that Canelo smoke. Because they saying that Hamza is being set up to get a Canelo fight next. But I want to see. I wanted to see Diego Pacheco and Berlanga, and I can probably say that if it wasn't for the excuse of Turkey putting out that bag and him knowing that Shiraz was gonna get a Canelo fight, I could say that Berlanga didn't want to see no Pacheco at this point.
Nah,
I mean, nah.
For me, I'm kind of like seeing the way they want to move Hamza. You know, I don't believe Hamza is going to be at 168 too long. I think they're just going to leave him at 168 to see what happens.
You cutting out. You cutting out, AC. Yeah, you said Hamza should take care of him. Yeah. I think it come down to whether or not his shin can hold up, how good his hand is, and if he learned anything from Carlos Adames. But I appreciate Boxing Magic. I appreciate Munguia. Nah, man, it's over for Munguia, man. The word been out on Munguia, man. Munguia is not it, man. Yeah, AC cut out. He'll come back in. But it's over for Jaime, man. We got to keep it a buck about Jaime, man. It's over for Jaime, man. These young guys are, man. I don't think he can handle him, Billy. Jamal Charlo at this stage, he'll probably knock him out. Diego Pacheco will stop him. He said, man, Boxing Magic said maybe Munguia too. Where do you got Munguia at, AC?
I'm kind like Munguia needs. Munguia's kind of in the place where I would say Schofield was before the Tevin Farmer fight. There's so much negative shit around you and stuff like that about getting knocked out, about the guy. People saying you're a hype job. He needs a legitimate opponent, and he needs a great performance with that legitimate opponent. What I was saying about Hamza is I didn't believe that Hamza was going to be a fighter that's sticking around 168-pound division. I think 168 is a pit stop for him or a truck stop for him until we find out whether Bivol or Baturbiev or both of them are going to retire and let all of those belts just go, like the Dragon Balls after a wish was made. And you're going to see Hamza be one of the first guys to go up to 175.
Man, that's tough task, man. Because that frame, I don't know. As far as that weight, man, I don't know, man. But what was I gonna say? This is what I was gonna say about Jaime Munguia, man. I used to kind of like Jaime Munguia, but you know what I think it is? It's almost like Kambosos. It's like Kambosos at 40 and Pitbull at 40. It's like they could campaign there, but they're not supposed to be there. And I think Jaime Munguia is just not. I don't think that he's in shape. Like, yeah, he seemed like he's big, but I'm thinking if he got a nutritionist and stayed closer to his walk around rate, he could probably do some things at 160, but he don't belong at 168.
Yeah, I don't think he belongs there neither. That's why I'm like, he needs something big. The Munguia I liked, and I was really like, oh my God, this dude's a problem.
Salute Thomas Hill.
Was
my bad.
Salute
Thomas.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say like the 154-pound Munguia and 160-pound Munguia.
Mm-hmm.
when he was at those two weights, that kid was like scary. You feel what I'm saying? I believe. Let me check to be clearer. You correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't he fight J Rock and beat the shit out of J Rock?
Jaime Munguia?
Yeah.
Nah.
There was a let me go back and look at it, because I remember some Latin fighter that was being talked about when Munguia was there, and dude beat up J Rock.
Nah, he beat up Saddam Ali. But nah, not J Rock.
All right, I'm gonna look up who it was, because I remember the guy having glasses. You feel what I'm saying? But I could be completely mixing the guy that I'm thinking of with old boy that fought Jamel Charlo.
Oh, you Montiel. He beat up Montiel. He stopped Montiel when they was at 47, but that's the one who fought who had a common opponent with Jamal. But shit, hey, if Munguia, if everybody believe Munguia can be there, feed him to Jamal. Even though I know Jamal wanted the big money, he wanted the big money. I think he's all about the big bag. Like, I think he ready to really. That's why I didn't put him there, because Jamal, he pretty much, I think he's standing in the way of everybody, but I didn't want to put him there because we were talking about the future of 168. We're talking about the young gunners, you know what I'm saying? The guys, this next era. But I think we did it justice.
Yeah, definitely.
What you think?
It might have, you know what? It might have been Saddam Ali, because it's not true. It was I can't remember the dude's name right now. It's probably gonna come to me at the middle of the night and shit like that. But I'm on his Bodywork and none of the names look familiar. But at the end of the day, back then, that's when I really liked Munguia. You feel what I'm saying? Once he got up to 160, I wasn't a real fan of his, because I think it came on the back of a layoff and like some fights that I thought he was going to take and didn't take those fights, and I was like, oh, he one of them. You feel what I'm saying? Then I kind of lost interest in Munguia. But yeah, we definitely did the topic, real good justice, man. A lot of stakes in the ground, covered some new names, covered some guys that are just coming up to the division, coming into guys that are, starting to make their names and come into their own and stuff like that. And, I just can't wait to see how all of this unfolds, and when these guys really, really start to mix it up, possibly after this Canelo and Buzz fight. You feel what I'm saying? To see what happens, So, yeah, great show, Bodywork. You know what I'm saying? Great coach.
Yeah, we're gonna develop more in the 168 and get outside of the big known names, and we're gonna let the fights get closer. We got some good ones coming up. We get to see Aussies, Iglesias against Shishkin. We'll get more into him and build up his profile, and at least let people know out there that there's other guys other than the guys that the mainstream media talk about, man. There's other people, and we gotta be proactive, because I used to do this. I was doing this down at 140, and lo and behold, we start seeing some of them names. I remember telling people, hey man, look out for this guy, Sam Noakes. You know what I'm saying? And here it is. He get ready to dance with, if everything goes well, he getting ready to dance with the young Abdullah Mason. And there was a couple other guys I spoke of. Claggett. I spoke about Claggett before that happened with Tio. This is what we do. We do a deep dive and try to put it out there so that everybody just not, oh man, who was this and who was that? So you have an opportunity to know who they are. Go watch some of their fights, get familiar with them, because at some point in time when they pop up, like Giasov popping up, if you were looking at the rankings and following along, you would have known, who this guy was and what's going on, and you won't be so down on these guys when they actually, get fights with some of the guys that have known names. So
Yeah,
that's really what it was, to get off the beaten path and kind of like put people on to like start thinking about the future of 168.
yeah, definitely, because it's it's some action up there, and when you're out there and dudes is talking about, oh, ain't nothing really happened at 68, you'd be like, bro, there's a lot happening at 68. I just saw a couple of lives, and blah 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 blah. You feel what I'm saying? I think the fight I was talking about with J Rock is when he lost to Rosario.
Oh yeah, Rosario. Yeah, and he just put on a surgical
Yeah,
performance against Jared Hurd. Like, I mean, he put on, like, J Rock, man. Like, when I seen glimpses of J Rock to where I thought he could have been like way better. Like, his name, he was nice, man. Like, at his peak, when he
yeah.
was in tip top shape and he was on his, on his Dean, man. Like, J Rock was nice.
He was
man.
nasty with it, bro. I used to love. I tried to do my best not to miss any J Rock fights, and that Rosario fight was so disappointing to me that I actually thought it was Munguia.
Mm-hmm.
You feel what I'm saying?
I showed my lady that, and he looked up. Cause J Rock looked up at the screen when he was like, "Oh wow!" Like, when he was seeing the highlight, he was like, "Oh wow!" Like, basically they stopped. I said, "No, Jay." But I think Breadman said it. He said, man, in a roundabout way, he said, man, when you start getting that bread and that money change and your lifestyle change, he said, man, he was basically alluding to the whole silk sheets, man. Like, you get a little comfy.
Yeah.
It's like you ain't gotta, you know what I'm saying? And it happens, you know what I'm saying? It
He
happens.
started wearing fur coats to interviews and chains and all of that. I was like, okay, I see I see you making money now, but please don't let that shit go to your head.
But let me address this real quick before we shut it down, man. He said, hey, just want to see what you guys think of DHP running towards the smoke. Brian Norman Jr. Damn. Hey, we gave him, even me, Johnny, I gave Devin full kudos for running towards the smoke. I was like, man, that'll never happen. And I thought that, I was like, man, this is another one of the things that Bill's doing and all this. But we gave Devin full credit. AC did. AC like, yeah, this is my guy. But like me, you know what I'm saying? Not being the biggest Devin Haney fan in the world, I was saying, man, hey, I gotta tip my hat off to him, because it looked like my mom said, hey man, you got, I was only allowed 2 C's on my report cards. Like, hey, I see 3 C's here. And she was going back there, and I heard that them jinglings, them belts, and I'm running in the house knowing I'm about to get my ass whooped. You know what I'm saying? Instead of taking that low, that low stroll, half a gate, you know what I'm saying, where you damn near putting one foot in front of the other from the time you get off the bus to the getting inside. Like, he running towards that motherfucking smoke. Now, if he run into an ass whooping, that remains to be seen. But we gave him full credit. I salute him. I say, hey, that's something you needed to do, because I knew he was a man without a land, without a plan. And this seemed like it was desperation. And Brian Norman, was like, hey, I'm with it. I don't think he thought they was going to be with it. So we shall see. But, hey, we had to tip our hat to him to say, hey, man, that's big things.
Yeah. And me being a Devin Haney fan, they got people fucked up that I'm like, he's not going to win this fight. The fact that he took the fight, but I don't think he's going to win the fight. But kudos for taking it. And recency bias is really driving that for me, being a fan of Devin Haney. So, looking at your last performance, and you think you're going to be able to do that shit with Brian Norman, or anything halfway remote to that, you're going to be looking up at the lights. You're going to have the rest, step over your body like, what's your name? You feel what I'm saying? So, yo, great show, body, man. On to the next one, bro. Can't wait for it.
All right, AC, man. Appreciate you coming through, bro. Have a good evening, man. To the next time.
You too, man.
All right. Hey, and
Johnny, salute to the panel, man.
All right, appreciate
salute to everybody that came in. Salute to everybody that was participating in the chat and everything, man. Without y'all, It's just two dudes talking shit online. For real.
That's right.
One.
All right, man. Peace. Hey, Johnny. Jared heard. Jared heard what happened, man. Like, it's the same kind of thing that happened with Tony Harrison, man, where their fathers was pivotal in their coaching. His father passed, and you know, they take their time away, they step away, and then it's almost like they lose something. I think it might have happened a little bit with Mr. Gary Russell Jr. too. But like, it's tough when your father is so pivotal in your coaching and your inspiration for boxing, and then you don't have them, and then you have time off. And then Jared Hurd was a big dude. He liked to have fun. He's a very social person, and so I think between nutrition, losing his father, you know, 1 foot in boxing, 1 foot out boxing, coming back to get a check, stepping back away, coming back to get another check. His last fight, he said, man, if Buddy beat him, he said he was going to retire. And after Buddy beat him, man, he put hands and feet on him. And Resendiz, man, he been in some wars, man. And Resendiz, if you go back and look at that Resendiz and Jared Hurd fight, man, he split Jared Hurd. He knocked the chunk out of Jared Hurd's lip. That shit looked so gruesome. So he been in wars, lost his pops, was in and out of you know, boxing, and I think he made some decent money, man. So he said if that dude, the last dude he fought, he said if he beat him, he was gonna walk away, and he kept true to his word. So he hung him up. Now whether he'll come back again, we don't know, but that's what happened with Jared Hurd. But salute Coke Key, and I'm gonna hit you back, Coke Key. I'm gonna hit you back, man. Johnny Allison, Coke Key, AC, Thomas Hill, L Dub, Boxing Magic was in the building. Who else? Coach Eddie stopped through. Cookie Monster. His twin was in the building. So I appreciate everybody who came through, man. If you catch this on the playback, talk to me. I'll talk back. This was just a look at the future of the 168 division. You know, getting off the beaten path, looking ahead for things to come. You know, I'm gonna say it now. I'm high on Diego Pacheco, man. I think he has all the makings to take it over. Arceus Iglesias, he has the makings to be able to make a lot of noise, man. He looking like official tissue. My old head, I'm gonna be talking about him Billy more and more, because my old head, he loves some in Billy, man. He's high on him Billy. And I think he does have a skill set. I think it's some things he need to sharpen up, but he can overwhelm you and hit you with one of them power hooks. And it's, you know, it's night. You seen what he just did to Magic Selecki, and Selecki ain't been done like that. I think Pacheco did it in like 6 rounds, and Billy came out and decapitated him in the first. So styles make fights, man. We got Beck the Bully in there. We got Lester Martinez. You still got Big Mar Charlo. But I was talking about the future and the young guys. That's what this episode was about. Hopefully you could put something in your rucksack that you can march on with, you know, and we start being forward thinking, critical thinking. Remember, this is Fruits and Veggies, not that Reggie. This is fact-based content, not opinion-based, even though we have ours. Silence is consent is the name of the channel, so we speak to the things that we don't like, and we just put stakes in the ground and keep the truth going on, man. We have integrity over here. We will not gaslight you. I say, don't gaslight me. I'm already lit. You know, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, donate to the channel. Keep the small channels going, man. You know, it's important that we get support just as well as the big channels, man, who steal our stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's a little jokey joke, but man, thanks for tuning in here at Bodywork Boxing, where we don't take things for face value. We do that body work.
He didn't want to box. He wanted to actually prove that he could punch with you. He was like, what the fuck is this nigga, right? Oh, okay, you want to go to sleep. You tired.
Welcome to Bodywork.